I really love FinOps. I really love this job that we have. It doesn't feel like work, although this work is really rewarding. So always when you have time to do something, you just find the time to do it because it's just something that you like to do.
I couldn't agree with you more. I think it's. I love the role of FinOps is very dynamic. You all the time talking with people, interacting with people, and all the time have
Hmm.
new technologies, new challenges. So it's always I think it's one of the best roles out there, and I couldn't agree with you more. But tell us how did you start with FinOps?
Well, I would say that my journey started when I started my career kind of 25 years ago, when I realized that I wanted to work with projects. Then within projects, I went into PMO, and within PMO, I got specialized in IT financial management. So I had the chance to teach classes for PMP preparation, and I was an expert in IT cost and for projects specifically. Then I started 5 years ago, get in touch with FinOps, not with the head of being in FinOps, but in this because of a product manager role that needed to implement a financial structure for a company that I worked before that was 100% on the cloud. And then researching, I was fortunate enough to be at the same time that the FinOps Foundation was born. It was a little child with less than 1 year of age. And then I found in there everything that I needed to put together the objective that was to put a financial control top of the cloud expand. And from there, I started growing my FinOps knowledge together with the foundation, with collaboration on producing many materials on FinOps adoption, and bringing all the experience that I had on my years in project management, because all the personas in FinOps are basically the same in project management. You need to deal with executive or senior leaders. You need to deal with engineering, procurement, finance, product. So those are pretty much the same persona. Actually, it's all the same personas plus the alliance as well that you need to deal with them when you're dealing with project management. So it was a kind of a smooth transition to FinOps, where we are now dealing with the specificities of the cloud. And the one that I really, really find interesting is the fact that in project management and any other finance processes, it happens. The minimum window of action is in a monthly basis. It's go month by month by month. But when it comes to FinOps and cloud, man, it's an hourly basis. It's on a daily basis. Can you imagine that? Do all of this control and management on top of things that changing by an hour. So that's a great challenge that got my attention. It's a way to put together everything that you're doing on a monthly basis and slice that in order to do that in a daily basis.
I always say that for a FinOps to be a good FinOps, you need great soft skills, and I agree with you. Do you see yourself like continuing FinOps on the long run?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And because of two reasons. Personally, the number one is because of the discipline itself that is being established as we speak. So we have the chance to put our mark in FinOps, not only myself, but everybody listening. So the knowledge base of FinOps is being built right now, and everybody has a chance to contribute. And one thing that I want to live for as a mark is to say that that piece of knowledge was, I had my contribution, has my signature. So there is no other area that is growing as rapidly as FinOps in this sense. So that's the reason number one. And number two is because there are plenty of opportunities to do FinOps that you can move horizontally and vertically. If you want to go deeper, there's lots and lots of technology that you need to get into in order to be a good FinOps engineer or an architect. If you want to go up, you can become a senior leader that is cost aware person. If you want to move horizontally, you can, go through all the entire organization doing the evangelization and teaching people about the FinOps mindset. So there's so much opportunities to grow in all the directions that someone can spend the entire life on that and will not get to the end of it. So leave the mark, and huge amount of opportunities would be the reasons why I would stay in this career.
So tell us a little bit more about what was your first experience in FinOps? What do you do?
Yes, my first experience was really to get in touch with the huge amount of data. I think that as a FinOps practitioner, you need to find a way to summarize this big data in order to have something that will give you an idea of where you are and where you're going. Without that, there is no chance to do FinOps whatsoever, because things are changing so rapidly. You're having things happening on the fly, and you need to have something, and ideally a single pane of glass that give you the entire view and ability for you to drill down until you get to the roots of what could be causing what caught your attention. So that's for me is non-negotiable. Every time I go in any FinOps engagement, I just want to know, okay, first, what are you using? How do you have visibility? And if there is no visibility, find a way to get that quickly.
Yeah, I know. That's one of the things that I also love most about the FinOps community. Everybody is curious. What is he doing? What are you doing? Exchanging knowledge. I love that about the FinOps community and the FinOps practitioners. So tell us a little bit more about, or share with us some kind of a success story, something you are very proud of that you did as a FinOps practitioner.
Oh man, there are so many stories about that. Um, Let me tell two of them, and both were when I was collaborating with FinOps Foundation. I was honored to lead one working group that put together all the material for the FinOps adoption or adopting FinOps. So I led that group, worked with a group of outstanding professionals so that we could put a material that shortcut for everyone that wants to adopt FinOps in any organization of any size. And then how honored I felt when during the FinOps practitioner preparation course, you see that there is a link in there saying, okay, if you want to know more about FinOps adoption, go to this material, and that material was the one that I made or I had the chance to lead. So that makes me very proud. Secondly, was to be part of the Focus version 0.5 and 1.0. That was the first major version of Focus. And I was very connected to that because prior to Focus, I tried to do a tool that could have a multi-cloud view of the cloud span. In that time, we were trying to put together data from Azure and GCP. We put together a small working group internally in order to do that. We have help from people from GCP. And in that time we were working with Looker and BigQuery. And our conclusion was that it was not possible without something on the middle that could translate the services between the two clouds, because at the end of the day you want to know how much you're spending in storage or compute, these big categories. But as every cloud is calling their own the way they want, it's almost impossible if you don't have a curated way to do that. So when I heard about Focus, I said, hey, I want to be part of that. And I was there and I was able to work on this incredible, uh, incredible initiative that would, deliver a lot of value. And can I tell a little secret about that?
Please go ahead. We love secrets here.
The FinOps, the focus is a breakthrough, no question about it. But the meetings, they are very boring meetings. Very boring meetings. And we are on those meetings where we need to give, we need to baptize a column with a name. So what is the best name to say, for example, effective cost? I was on the group that created the effective cost, but it was not the first option. Well, okay, what cost could that be? Oh, in Amazon they call like that. In GCP we call like this. In Azure we call like that. So what could be the best naming? And we're spending hours deciding the name of a field. All right? Sounds silly, but it's very important, because once you baptize that with that name, that's gonna last. All right? So we need to choose the words very well. But although it was a breakthrough, internal work can be a little bit, boring. Seems that we're not progressing. The result pays for all the efforts.
That's definitely a great story and a good achievement, and a little bit from behind the scenes. But and thanks for sharing. Okay, but with success, not every time we we see success. Sometimes we fail. So can you share with us a mistake,
Exactly.
your biggest mistake you did in FinOps?
Wow, biggest mistake, man. Um, okay, there was one in this unicorn company that I was doing FinOps for. We decided to build our own tool, and the end result was something that was working. All right, it's not the state of the art, but it was working pretty well. And I think that the biggest mistake was to think that the tool was there standing by its own would attract people to work on it and take actions based on it. All right. So it's just like you building a store on the middle of a street that nobody goes. Uh, it was basically the same thing. It was a beautiful, shiny store with all the bells and whistles, but nobody was showing there because I had a way to see how much people were using the tool. So thinking that just build would solve everything was not a good option. Up until uh, talking to people and trying to understand why that was happening, I discovered the tool of choice of the developers, that they were going every day there in order to check their own metrics. And I said, what if I just put that cost metric inside the tool that they are already using? And that was when I started to see engineers taking action. So I put the data on their path so that they could stumble on the cost and say, oh, I'm spending all of that. And it's incredible, Damian, how the action of just displaying to people how much they're spending can cause some action. It will not be 100%, but definitely will not be zero, because normally engineers, they tend to appreciate efficiency. And when they see something that is not very much efficient, they are compelled to take action. All right. So when we put that on their path, they don't need to click here, and there in order to get to the cost. But if they go to their day-to-day working tool and see the costing there, that starts doing something on their mind.
Definitely, when the combination of like making it easy for them to see, and again putting that in their face, it's a good combination to people to start
Yes.
thinking, maybe I can do it better. That always work. Talking about cost reductions, I still feel like the companies still didn't, or still don't understand what FinOps is. They still, expected only the FinOps to come and reduce cost. Do you feel the same? And why do you think it's like that?
I do. I feel that the whole industry is still in a crawl maturity. I'm not saying one or two or three companies. I say, if we look to the entire field, it feels like we are still in this crawl phase, which I connect with the framework that says that on the beginning, we are getting the low-hanging fruits, right? So we always easy to get the low-hanging fruits, and it seems that everybody is still, not everybody, let me be clear, many people are still in this phase. So that would be one. Another major mistake is that when we see people with good intentions, they are selling the creation of a FinOps organization, showing the results through the savings, which is a huge mistake, because it will save you, yes, a lot of money on the beginning, but it will not be like that on the long run. So if you are basing your request of creating a FinOps COE based on the savings, that will not stand for the long run, as I said. So that's what I feel where the market is. There are lots of exceptions to that. Many companies have already understood the value of FinOps and they are doing that right. I was working in one of these companies where on the first year we were able to save almost 2 million euros of savings. It was, incredible. A lot of work that we've done. We saved a lot of money, many initiatives. But, when I was there, I saw clearly, Damian, it was clear like the sun that is shining on me right now, that they will not repeat. All right. Let's take, for example, reserved instance or commitment-based discounts. As soon as you get all that you can get, what are you going to do on the next year? So let's say that you saved 60% of your cloud cost on the first year. How are you going to ever be able to repeat that again on the second year? It's impossible. All right, it's not going to happen. 60% year over year. It will get to a point that you need to put much more effort in order to get a little bit of a savings. So the point on the second, on the third year is not to get more savings, is how do you create an organization that is able to maintain the efficiency that you have already reached on the first or second year. That's the challenge.
Thank you for sharing. Interesting, yes. That definitely is a challenge. Well, I think the overall industry needs to, get their things together, understand what FinOps is about, and start applying the methodology as soon as possible, and try to have a culture of FinOps in everywhere. We see lately that the FinOps is expanding not only in cloud into new areas. So definitely it seems that we are doing something good. Let's move to some rapid fire questions right now. Let's see.
Okay, let's go for it.
Tell me, what do you like more, saving plans, RIs, or do you think that the combination is the best strategy?
Combination. Leave majority of stable workloads to RIs, variable for saving plans, and a little bit of room for new projects and surprises.
Tags or no? Should we tag every resource or no? Or no tags?
If you can get away without, if you can live without tags, that would be my preference. If you can do that, if you can do without tags, even better. But if you have tags, well done. Go for it.
What do you think that the most misunderstood phrase or misunderstood thing about FinOps is?
Savings. So the question is, what is savings? Can anyone define what saving is? All right. If you're able to do that in 30 seconds, seems that you have a crispy definition. But I bet that in any organization, if you got to go in this and have this discussion, what savings mean, nobody will get to a clear definition what that is. So that's the biggest misunderstanding, in my opinion, on FinOps is what savings, why savings, and why people are getting so much hooked to it.
What do you think the one is the single biggest thing that is holding back FinOps adoption?
Senior leadership. Senior leaders that don't understand FinOps, or they think that they act as FinOps is a equivalent to cost saving.
Thank you very much for all the answers, Anderson, and for sharing all your story and tips and stuff like that. I really liked it, and I really enjoy having you here. And for our viewers, don't forget to register to the channel, to follow Anderson Oliveira, and you should take his courses as well. And I hope we hear more of you soon. Thank you very much, everyone, and thank you, Anderson, for being here with us.
Thank you so much, Damian. It was a pleasure to be here and talking to you, as always.